overcome, we overcome, we overcome.
All right, all praises. I forgot why I hated keynote as a presentation, but all praises. I got it figured out. Went back to my old way. So, if you can help us out with the Kathab, we're gonna go to Second Chronicles, Second Chronicles, 1:1, I believe. I want Second Chronicles 1:1. Is the screen sharing for everybody?
It's not sharing yet. Well, it showed. Yeah, yeah.
Is it a delay?
It's up there. It might be a delay.
Okay.
Second Chronicles 1:1.
Yeah, Second Chronicles 1:1. We would say a Yaman, a Yamam. It's pretty much a newspaper, the Daily Times. That's what these records are. Chronicles is pretty much the daily news for Israel, recording our histories during King David and Solomon's era. So in Hebrew, we would say just Yamam or Yamam in the days, the times, the times. That's what they're recording here. Things that happen in the nation. And Second Chronicles 1:1 is going to set the tone. I also want to bookmark what Sister Liv just shared, that Psalm 77. So let's start with Second Chronicles 1:1 and then go back to that to Hallam she pulled.
Second Chronicles 1 verse 1. It says, "And Shalom the son of Dawad was strengthened in his kingdom, and Yahweh his Elohim was with him, and magnified him exceedingly."
It said Yahweh who?
His God, his power, was with him.
The text is saying that Solomon was strengthened in his kingdom and his God was with him. Now we know God is a pagan term. We're not getting caught up on God. But it's saying that his power, his Allah, his God was with him. That is possessive. Possessive. We're going into bloodlines and belief. His God was with him. Not the God of the world, not the God of the Christians, not the God of the believers. His God was with him. The second text we just hot off the press from Sister Liv is that Tehillim 77. 77 and 15. Well, let's clip 14 also for context. Psalm 77, 14 through 15, setting the tone for bloodlines and belief. Bloodlines and belief.
Verse Psalm 77 and 14 says, "You are the Elohim that does wonders, or doest wonders. You have declared your strength among the people. You have with your arm redeemed your people, the sons of Yaqub and Yawasap."
The Most High doesn't leave us guessing. We don't have to put any extra spin on the text. We don't have to get animated, gassing people up. He comes out and make things plain. First of all, this whole chapter of Psalm 77 is going back to the Exodus. The Exodus was only for the children of Israel and the servants that we took out of Egypt. But the specific act of the Exodus was beneficial specifically to the Israelites. So the fact that he's going back to the Exodus, that lets you know he's not referring to any other people. No believers, no speaking in tongues, no filled with the Holy Ghost, no running around the church. He's talking to specific people. And then if you're hard of learning, I'm trying to stay polite. I know we got Rob here. I don't want to scare young Rob away. But if you're unlearned, he comes out and tells you who his people is in verse 15. Psalm 77:15, he says, Thou hast with your arm redeemed your people. And who is his people? The church? No. The sons of Jacob and Joseph. Jacob and Joseph is a Hebrewism for the 12 tribes. Jacob refers to the 10 tribes, and Joseph refers to the Salakia. Joseph refers to the 10 northern kingdoms, and Jacob refers to Judah and Benjamin, the southern kingdoms. So the Most High doesn't leave us guessing. We're going into bloodlines and beliefs because people are finding it hard to believe and accept that the whole Bible is about one people. The whole Bible is about one people. But when you take the blinders off, when you shut that music down, when you shut all the antics down and read this text like a history book, because that's what it is. Even though this text was developed by pagans who were not Israelites, the power of Yah, we still can see, well, because he's back with his people, he's given us eyes to extrapolate all the poor doctrine and we now all the religion that's been put into the text, and we can see the text for what it is. The text is a cultural text referring to a cultural people. Now, Psalm 77, yes, it's in the so-called air quotes Old Testament, but even if we turn to the so-called New Testament, the writers are constantly referring back to the Egypt, to the Exodus. So when you hear the writer referring to the Exodus, it 86 every other person. 86 is an old-fashioned word to means is a business term to terminate. So it cuts out anytime the writer refers to the Exodus, it's cutting out religion. It's cutting out Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal. If the text is referring to the Exodus, it's about a bloodline. It's about a bloodline. Any comments or questions about the Kathab? So we're going to get into bloodlines and beliefs. This is going to be the intro, and I'm not sure how much we're going to get through. Y'all be with us. Bloodlines and beliefs. And this was inspired by Sister Joyce had shared a video with me, and it went viral. It went viral, and I just shared an intro. Some sisters were having a discussion about the Abrahamic religions, and it was hard for me to listen to. It was hard for me to listen to because I've been listening to Christians for years now, and I've been open-minded. And I've been listening to Christians for years, and they all repeat the same doctrine, the same talking points, and none of their talking points is valid in Scripture. They refer to a Scripture, and they believe that Scripture is validating their position, but when you read the Scripture in context, it doesn't. So I'm just going to share the intro because just in case you haven't, and I forgot how long the video was, but I think I made it through like 55 minutes of it. So this is sponsored by DCD Reboot. Destroying Christian dogma is just something that it comes with this covenant. The covenant we're a part of is not about religion, and that's what people it blows people's minds when they ask us, well, what religion are you? And it's like, I don't follow religion. What do you mean? The Bible isn't about religion. The word Christianity doesn't appear nowhere in the Bible. And the word Christian itself only appears like one time. And that's only because the translators were pagans. The ancient word for people who believed in the Messiah would be a Nazarite. And that's a man-made. Calling people by the ideologies they're following is a man-made system. So Even our ancestors who reject the Messiah, and they would call us Nazarites, that still was a man-made invention. You're calling us Nazarites because we're believing in the one who said he's the Son of God, but the one who told us he was the Son of God, he wasn't giving us a new way of life. He was telling us to come back to Abba. So even calling me a Nazarite is really against my culture. I'm a child of Yah. I'm a daughter of Yah. But I do wear the title Nazarite as an honor. I count it an honor to be considered one who trusts in the Son. So, but the word Christian only appears in the text one time. And again, that's because the translators chose to use that word Christian. But this text isn't about a religion, it's about a people and their covenant. And we're going to flesh it out today. We're going to flesh it out today. And as I'm listening to the sisters and different points they're bringing up, and again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to play a lot of the interview. I'm just going to, or the round table they had. I'm just going to play the intro for people who have not seen it. But one thing I kept hearing from the Christian side, the one thing I kept hearing from them, and again, I believe a lot of people have good intentions. I don't think people are intentionally trying to mislead people. I just think years of bad doctrine has just eradicated common sense. Again, I say all the time, the Bible is the only text where reading comprehension doesn't matter. Like, there's a new movie everyone at the job was talking about, and I was like, I like action movies. I like the fighting movies. Is Matt Damon? Is it Troy? Is it Troy or something? I forgot what it's anyway. It's out now, and it's Matt Damon is starring in it, and they're dressed in old Roman, Gothic gear, and I'm like, I would love to go see it because I love the action movies, but I'm just tired of them portraying these people to be some great people. Like, academics prove that we are the best warriors on the planet. Academics prove that anytime y'all had a battle, y'all went and got Hebrew warriors, hired Hebrew soldiers to fight for y'all. And why is that? Because our nation, because we kept disobeying the Most High, our nation has been in war more than any other nation. So we were very skilled at war. Coming out of Egypt, we were babes. So the Most High fought for us. But when we got to Jerusalem and we disobeyed his commandments and we didn't wipe everyone out, he says, no, all right, for that, I'm going to leave these Canaanites around y'all to prove y'all every year or from time to time to keep y'all war ready. So as the nations conquered us and they had their other battles, they would get us because we were highly skilled in warfare. So this new movie out got all these, funny looking people, and you want to use your cameras to paint them to be some great warriors. And Matt Damon's like 5'4", 5'5", 5'6". Come on, man. It's hard for me to suspend my disbelief to enjoy some of their movies. All right, so that's the point of that. But it's not hard. It's really not hard to see that every nation has their own God. It's really not hard to see. On the screen, you see that, and this is just a quick Google search. This is not heavy research. I'm not even going deep and pulling out old writings. It's really on the surface. It's in your face. Every nation has their God. On the screen, I know it's clipped off, but the first image that's clipped off is the God of the Indians. And Abba forgive us because the Most High commands us not to even mention these other idols. But for the sake of this learning, we're referencing these idols. They're nothing to us. They're real as Tom and Jerry to us. But so if I pray Abba forgives us, because he commands us not to even mention these cartoon characters. But for the sake of Bloodlines and Beliefs, we're trying to show people that it's not far-fetched that he's the power of Israel. He's not your power. It's like it's like, you know, that best friend grew up with you. It's like my daddy and your dad, he's my dad. It's like, and that's what is going on in these religions. Like, you're claiming our power, you're claiming our deity, but when you read the Bible, it clearly says he's not your deity. So you got the image is clipped off, but it's the national deity of the East Indians, and then you see the Caesar Borgia character. You see the American flag. Caesar Borgia character, Jesus, is their God. Every Christian tells you Jesus is their God, and when you read the text, even though we don't call him Jesus, we know that he's not our God. He is the son of our God. And if he's the son of our God, then he's our brother. My brother can't be my God. My brother can't be my father unless you're from West Virginia. So the Jesus God is the God of the Americans and all the other Catholic nations. If your God is Jesus, the Caesar Borgia character, then you are Catholic. But that's your God, and that's your national God. So all you have to do is check the national religion, and that's their God. So every nation that is a Catholic nation, Jesus is their God. That's their deity. Caesar Borgia or Jesus is not our God. He's not the deity of Israel. Next, you see they have Allah, and they got Iran's flag. So Iran or the Persians, they are a Muslim country. So a lot of the I'm going to air quotes this. A lot of the Middle Eastern nations, Iran or Persia, Afghanistan, who else is over there? There's a lot of little stands and stuff like that. They are Muslim countries. So they're telling you their God is Allah, and they're proud of their God. And there's nothing wrong with them being proud of their God. But Allah is not the God of us. Allah is not the God of the Bible. Then the other one there is saying Zeus. Zeus is the God of the Greeks, And they let you know they're proud of their God. We just had the Olympics. What was it, last year? When was that Olympic? Was it last Winter Olympics? And they had the whole ceremony. If you guys remember, it was hard for me to watch because I'm like, I want to see. I love athletics. Like, I grew up in the West. I'm a Greco-Roman product. I'm a baby of the Greco-Roman Empire, so I love athletics. I love track and field events. But I'm like, me and my wife is watching it. I'm like, look, they're telling you they know their God is this Greek Zeus, and they had this whole ceremony to their Greek gods, and it's like they're not ashamed. So it's like it's not hard to see that every nation has their deity, and they're proud of their deity. I'm just trying to tell people your deity is not my deity, and my deity is not your deity, and the Bible support this. We're gonna flesh it out with the scriptures. The last image there is the Egyptians got it, and a lot of these nations have pantheons, so they have multiple gods. Pretty much every nation has a pantheon of gods and deities that they worship. Like, if you were about to travel, you would pray to this deity and offer something to this deity. If you and your wife was trying to have a child, you would offer something to this. They were a pantheon of gods for these people. And then at the bottom there, that elephant face with the human body, that's another Indian god. I think that the text says he's the god of wisdom for them. So it's really not far-fetched to see, Mashapal, that every nation has their deity, and we're just trying to flesh it out and show people that the God of the Hebrews, he's just the God of the Hebrews, and the text supports that. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to flesh out with scripture that the God we are serving, we call him Yahweh. We're not going to get into the name. We're not going to get caught up in names right now because we're trying to help the Christians and the babes. So we'll use these pagan terms and pray the Most High, extend us grace. This is for the purpose of teaching. But our God, Yahweh, He is the God of the Israelites. He's not the God of the world. Our God, Yahweh, He is our God. He is not the God of the world. Any comments, questions, any rebuttals before we get into the witnesses? We're not religious. We're not trying to convince people. We're going to let the text speak. We're not trying to convince people. We're going to give you the text. So this is the video. I believe this is. So this is the video here where the girls, the sisters, don't want to be disrespectful because a lot of these sisters are feminists, and they get very touchy when you say stuff like that. But this is the video where their sisters are having a conversation. It's different Jewish. I can't use that term. There's different Hebrew sisters of different communities, and then there's Christians. But all of them are melanated. They're all melanated. Some are Christians and others are Israelites, but they're Israelites practicing different ways. So not even all the Israelites agree, and that's just part of the curses. All of us Israelites, we don't agree on every point. It's just part of the curses. Let me pull it up just so I'll play the intro just for those who haven't seen it, and then we'll get into the witnesses, proving that our power, our God is not the God of this world. He's just our God. He's just our God. I had all this bookmark. I don't know what be happening to my bookmarks. I'll be having everything set up, and then when we go live, it's just if I can spell. And again, this video went viral. This is it? Yeah, this is it right here. And give credit to the owner. This is.
But I guess if you're. I want to show you some.
This is the. This is the Dr. Daff show, and it's called The Bridge. So let me get this on the screen. Get this ad off here. Now I'm just going to play the intro. I'm not going to get into the video. You guys can watch it at your leisure. Just the intro. I think they did a good job. All right. Is YouTube showing now?
Con.
The water. All right. How can I maximize this? Where's my maximize button? Lord have mercy. There we go. All right, I'm just going to play the intro for y'all after this ad. Look, Sister Liv. Look, Liv, she went back to church.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. I'm teasing. All right.
Back to the same ancient texts. But what they believe about those texts couldn't be more different.
As far as I understand, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel.
Today, Christians, Jews, and Black Hebrew Israelites come together to talk about faith, identity, and interpretation.
We don't disregard the law. We actually know the law is holy, is perfect. There's nothing wrong with the law.
Like if you said a blessing and you said in your God's name, I will not say amen because amen means to agree, and I do not agree.
3 perspectives, 1 conversation. Welcome to The Bridge.
So that's the inspiration for this class. The water Rabah, Sister Joyce had sent it to me, and I guess she wanted to pick my brain or see if I had watched it. And first, I was like, I'm not gonna watch females because I don't get into female discussions. It's just not my nature. I'm a man, so why would I get into a female discussion? But when she sent it to me, because I saw other Israelites on my YouTube channel start to repost the clips, and so I was like, I was aware of the conversation, and I saw the clips that people were posting. I think Zamaria had posted a clip on his feed, so I seen some of the clips, but I'm like, these are women, so it's really not. It's not our culture for men and women to exchange. Like that's just not the culture. So I was like, I'm not even gonna post comments because these are sisters, and they shouldn't be engaging with a man. So I was gonna leave it be. And then when Sister Joyce sent it to me, I said, okay, for purposes of our little community, I said, let me watch it and see, if we can glean something from it. So I watched it, and again, I was really only able to suffer like 52, 55 minutes of it. But the one thing I did, and it did spark in me, I kept hearing the Christian sisters, because they I believe even the Christians are Israelites. I can't say for sure. We don't know their true genealogy, but I believe for the most part they could be Hebrewisses, but they're just following Christianity. And the one thing the one theme I kept hearing from their questions and their dialogue is they just can't believe that the whole Bible is about one people. And then they went into the Christian dogma about if you got faith like Abraham was counted righteous because he believed. And these are all the same Christian talking points that I've been listening to for years from the mega what you call them mega churches, from the local pastors. I have I have yet to have a conversation with a pastor that can substantiate having faith like Abraham, and all you got to do is believe, and that makes you a son of Abraham. All of these Christian talking points, this Christian dogma, it doesn't hold up to the text. The text doesn't agree with Christian dogma. So that's what we're going to get into today: bloodlines and beliefs, showing that this book called the Bible is only about the children of Israel. Or I should say, the main focus of the book, of the text, is about the Israelites. The God that they're talking about in that Bible, he's only the God of the Israelites. That's what the witnesses are going to prove, and we're going to take our time. And again, this is just the intro. But any comments, questions, did anyone watch the video? If you could offer some insight or your opinion or your synopsis on the interview. Have you guys seen the round table? Anybody? Nobody watched it?
Yeah, I watched it and it gave me a headache.
Why you say that, sis?
It was just a lot of confusion and yeah, like yeah, just confusion. Honestly, sad to just see like the condition of all of our people and like you said, just the curses and the indoctrination and all that stuff. And it like if you watch the whole thing through, I watched the whole thing through, but there was no like kind of resolve or ending. It just kind of it felt like it ended abruptly. Like no one could kind of come to any, common ground or anything. It was yeah, it was just a mess.
And that's one thing I'm so grateful to Abba Yah for giving us the plumb line. And that's the one thing. That's why I don't do debates. I do have discussions, and you guys have been with me now for years. You guys see my social media interaction. You guys know I will have civil, classy exchanges with other people, and but I have to hold them to the plumb line. And that's one thing about like athletics. Athletics is only interesting if both parties have to adhere to the same rules. That's why they shun steroids and different uh, PEDs, performance enhancers, are shunned because now you're giving yourself and a unfair edge that the other person doesn't have. So when it comes to talking about the scriptures, you have to agree to use the same parameters, and that plumb line does that. That plumb line holds everyone to the same parameters, and that's what we're going to get into. So we got some Berean legwork to do before we get into the actual breakdown, but we're only going to get, y'all willing, maybe 6 or 7 witnesses. So I'm not gonna hijack your whole afternoon. The first thing we got to address though is logical fallacy. Logical fallacy. Anyone ever heard that term, logical fallacy, or do you anyone want to give a stab at what logical fallacy is? Okay, so it seems like it's a lot, but it's you've been using it every day of your life. Logical fallacy. You've been coming in contact with it. We just, in colloquial terms, in everyday vernacular, we wouldn't say logical fallacy. Okay, we just would use, depending on where you're from and your different age period, we use different terms on it. But this is the Cambridge definition of logical fallacy. Is the text big enough for you to read?
It says a logical fallacy is a mistake in the way you think about something that makes your final judgment or decision wrong.
That's Cambridge. So it's one more time. I'll read it one more time.
It says a mistake in the way you think about something that makes your final judgment or decision wrong. I was going to say too before, in my guess of what it meant, was that it would be like a common thought, but it's incorrect. Meaning like if we just to make up something, like if most of us in our group believed 1 + 1 was 3. So not, hold on, that's not a good one. I'm trying to think of
Jesus is God.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesus is God. It sounds, I'm trying to think of something that sounds logical, and I guess Jesus is God is one. Sounds logical, but it's not true, if that makes sense. It's what I'm trying to generalize it into.
Absolutely, absolutely. You both, all y'all are cooking with fish grease. It sounds plausible because you done heard it so many times, and it sounds plausible because so many air quotes authoritative voices have said it. You've seen it printed on so much literature. It's in this pamphlet. It has to be true. So a logical fallacy, it's, and sometimes the end result could be true, but still your summation of how you got there is wrong. But in this context that we're using it, even their end results is wrong. Even their end results is wrong. One more witness about logical fallacy. And this is, I just did Chat GBT. I know it's hard to read. Can you see that? It's too small.
Yeah, like I would be guessing on most of it. It says a logical fallacy is an error, and then I can't really see the other words, and then I can only see some of the words.
So this is just Chat GBT results, and let me do this just since I clipped it. I'll put the whole clip on here just as another witness of what logical fallacy means. So let me put this on the screen, and then you all just gave the most common example, because I was going to ask for some examples, but you guys just gave one of the most common ones. How's it now? It's a little bit bigger.
It says a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that makes an argument weak or misleading, even if the conclusion happens to be true. In simple terms, it is a flaw in the way someone argues rather than what they argue. Here are a few common examples. attacking the person instead of addressing their argument. Example, don't listen to her opinion on climate change. She didn't finish college.
What does that sound like? Those of us who've been around for a while.
Definitely sounds like what Christians do, but it's right here on the tip of my tongue.
Well,
Oh yeah, you didn't go to seminary school.
You didn't go to seminary school. That's why you got to go to seminary school. You'll learn how to really read the Bible. You'll learn how to break it down. That is a ad hominem. You're attacking me instead of my argument. We done seen it time and time again on all these debates we watch. And if you ever posted something, they start, well, who you study from? How did you know that? Opposed to just answer the question. Just give me your witnesses to substantiate your religion. They can't do that. They can't do that. Continues on.
A straw man is misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. For example, you want to reduce military spending, so you want the country to have no. Okay, let me read it better. So you want to reduce military spending, so you want the country to have no defense. And so they're basically jumping to the conclusion of saying you want the country to have no defense to attack the reduction in military spending, if that makes sense.
Now let's apply it to our beliefs. Y'all believe Most High only care about black people? You never heard me say that. These are the straw mans that they put out there, because just because we're telling the truth that the one you call Jesus, he's not white and blue eye and blonde hair. He is a melanated Israelite. Oh, so it's all about black people? I didn't say nothing like that, brother. I'm just trying to wake you up and give you some truth, and you're putting all these straw mans out here distracting from the case at hand that you've been lied to. Distracting from the case at hand that if you lied to me about this, what else have you lied about? Like me and Chef was having a conversation on Facebook about the flat earth. So it's like, what does flat earth have to do with God? If you lied to me about this, what else have you lied to me about? So these are the straw men they put. Well, what's the big deal? Everyone knows Jesus is black. No, they don't. All your literature in the Bible bookstore has him as white. You won't even give me an Indian Jesus. You won't even give me what else is out there? Irish. You ever seen Jesus with red hair and freckles? Y'all only give me Jesus in one version. So now I'm telling you that he's a black man. Oh, it's all about black people. Did I say that? Did I say that? These are logical fallacies we're dealing with when it comes to religion. And this is one of the greatest logical fallacies when it comes to bloodlines and belief. Bloodlines and belief. Any comments or questions about logical fallacy? You all gave that perfect example. Jesus is God. And how did we get that? Oh, because my pastor said. But does the Bible say that? Did the Most High say that? Did he say it himself? Did he say he was God? No. So what are you basing your beliefs on? What are you basing your religion on? What man has said, what I've been told, what I've been heard. Another great logical fallacy I come across. Well, the white man wrote the Bible. Name two of the white men who wrote the Bible. They won't be able to tell you. They're just repeating these things, putting straw men out there so you don't read the Bible. These are logical fallacies. So a few examples, and you guys gave some wonderful ones, but I've never seen Ak eating ice cream, so Ak don't like ice cream. Is that true? Would that be a true statement?
La.
La. Maybe Ak eat it at night. maybe he's on a workout regimen where he's trying to get back in shape. Just because you never seen him eating ice cream don't mean that he doesn't like ice cream. So for someone to come to that conclusion, that's a logical fallacy. Anybody ever took a philosophy class in college? It's usually during your freshman year when you got to take the liberal art classes. Anybody took a philosophy class? I
Con,
took
I think so. I think I did.
I took one because I knew it was going to be an easy A. But I remember some of the indoctrination that the Greeks put on us with their logic argument. Logic itself is a whole Greek tool, and one of the formulas I remember is if A equals B and B equals C, then A must equal C. I should have made that slide up so you guys can see it. But that's what logic is. If A equals B and B equals C, then A must equal C. And that's a logical fallacy. You don't know if A equals C. Just because A and B equals and B and C equals don't mean A and C is equal. That's a logical fallacy. Another example of a logical fallacy. Can you see that one? You know what? I think I could pull this up now. I think I'm done with
It
this.
says God created animals, so they are all edible.
Is that true, family?
No,
According to the scriptures, are all animals edible?
no.
Well,
But that's what the Christians tell us when we try to tell them about different unclean foods. God made it, it must be good. Well, God made me, can you eat me? These are logical fallacies that the Christian religion comes up with. These are logical fallacies. Another one.
It says God created humans, so he loves everyone.
Y'all see it's getting deeper now, right? We're getting ready to lose people. It is what it is. We have to walk alone. Zion, we were meant to be alone anyway. I said it on prayer yesterday. I'm losing track of the day. Yesterday, right? They don't hate us because of our skin color. That whole thing about skin color, that is so recent. That whole skin color stuff only came up in the what, 15, 1600s? They hate us because they know we are the chosen of Yahweh. They know we are favored by him. We just finished watching the World Cup. Well, not all. I didn't watch all the games. Just watch the highlights. But everyone, not everyone. I got to stop generalizing. But a lot of people on social media were pointing out and making clips about the same thing we've been teaching. Judah is scattered around the world, and not only are we on these teams, but we're shining. We're the best athletes on the team. Just because he created you don't mean he loves you. It's going to get dark. Again, there is no prerequisite to hang with us. You just have to get used to being on an island. You just have to get used to being on an island. 1 second. Let me do this before you go. Where's my settings at? Okay. Yeah, Ali, you got something out?
Con, yeah. With that last example with saying God created humans, so he loves everyone. Well, I got a verse that completely disproves that. Um, if you go to Matthew 15:24,
Bring it out.
this is Yahweh Shai speaking, the Son. He said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Did he say, "I am not sent unto the lost sheep of the house of the world or like any other nation?"
La.
Nah, nah. So,
And that's a
but
babe.
yeah, I will yield.
That's a babe. Y'all only been around about 2 years now. And he just reading the text. That's a babe saying that. The next one, and I'll pick your guys' brains if you have any more. God reigns on the just and the unjust. So yeah, it's been raining in our neck of the woods for the last couple of days. So evil people and good people are both receiving the benefits of the rain. Your grass is being watered, the crops are being watered. But does that mean that the Most High loves the unjust? Does that mean the unjust and the just have the same rewards? No, that's a logical fallacy. That's a logical fallacy. It's going to get darker. God created the earth, so he is God of all. This is Bloodlines and Beliefs. God created the earth, so he's the God of everybody. This is a logical fallacy, and the text is going to bring it out. Yes, he created the earth, and yes, everything belongs to him, but that doesn't mean he's your God. He didn't even claim you, and the text is going to support that. Any other examples, now that you have a clearer picture of what logical fallacy means, any other examples? All right, so let's get into the first example. Salakia, I was mentioning about athletics, and like Sister Liv said that this roundtable discussion just ended abruptly with really no resolve. No one, and because before we exchange, we have to have some ground rules. Because if you're just giving me your rhetoric and I'm giving you mine, and our rhetoric is based on different parameters, there isn't going to be any resolve. You're giving me what you've been indoctrinated with, and I'm giving you what I've been indoctrinated with. But the grounds of our indoctrinations are different parameters, so there is no resolve. But when we come together and say, you know what, you can't cross this line, and you can't cross this line. Now we got common ground. Now, if you're not indoctrinated, you have to agree that I've given you concrete evidence from the text. Because we're like the intro said, everybody's claiming the same book. Everybody's claiming the same Abrahamic faith, but we're getting different interpretations. Why is that? Because no one is agreeing to the same terms. Show me your witnesses. And the Most High commands us to get witnesses to prove everything. That's why the plumb line is so valuable. Nariah?
I was helping somebody, so I couldn't respond to you when you said, "Does anybody have an example of logical fallacy?" And I'm not 100% sure if this is an example, but I want to ask it anyway, just for the sake of edification, for the point that's being made. Um, So the example that I want to give is, well, John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever should believe on him should not perish but have everlasting life." So now, through the blood of Christ, everybody can be saved who believe on him. Would that be an example?
Absolutely. I knew it was going to get pulled, so I didn't list it. That is the greatest logical fallacy, and then it's based on a translation, and then you don't apply reading comprehension to the text. Because if you go to John 3:16 and you go back up a couple verses, he's telling you the context of the conversation. He's asking Nathaniel, I believe he's talking to either Nathaniel or the other one who warned him about the Pharisees. His name escapes me right now. But if you go back a couple verses, they're asking him questions, and he tells them, "Are you not a master teacher in Israel, and you don't know this?" So now when you get to John 3:16, "For he so loved the world," he just asked this man, "Are you not a master teacher in Israel?" So now when you get to 3:16, say it again.
Is it Nicodemus you're thinking about?
Con out the water. I'm telling you, you don't want no problems with the Torah group. We got snipers all over the place. It's Nicodemus. He was talking to Nicodemus, and he asked Nicodemus, "Are you not a master teacher in Israel, and you don't know this?" So now when you get to John 3:16, you can't put that world means everybody. He's talking to the world of Israel. That is the one of the greatest logical fallacies in the world. You got that wrestler, what's his name, Stone Cold, put it on his shirt. Like, dude, like, that's not for you. That's not about you. Let me calm down, relax. I'm getting worked up already. So the plumb line, bless his name, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. So the plumb line keeps us honest. Do you have witnesses to support what you're saying? Not exegesis, and don't give me a breakdown where my pastor said, well, you know what, you need to talk to my pastor. I'm talking to you. You've been going to church 20 years, and now I'm asking you questions, and now you're going to say, well, you need to talk to my... You should know everything the pastor knows. You've been sitting under this man for 20 years, and now you can't answer these questions? So, can you read Matthew 4:4 for us,
Con. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
This is red letters, so they're telling us Christ spoke this. I believe Christ spoke this. But did he make this up?
No.
Where's he getting this from?
Moses.
He's getting it from Moses. It's on the screen, Mashapop. He just said man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out the mouth of Yahweh. And he's not making it up. He's giving them the law. Here's Messiah that you said came to do away with the law. You're telling me he nailed the law to the cross, and he's reciting the law to me. For our purposes today, we're supposed to proceed by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Yahweh. Can we find where the Most High God ever said that he's the God of the world? He's the God of the Christians. He's the God of the Romans. We're going to go into the text and show you his words. He's never claimed these people. He's never claimed these people. Glory be to the Most High. Glory be to the Most High. I want to update this plumb line. There's so much more we can add to this. But this is why you don't get resolves when you're talking to people, especially with debates. Debates is now just for mockery, for clicks and views. We're finding out people are making a lot of money on these channels with these debates. So a debate is not going to come to a resolve because it's about winning. But if we can come to a common ground, hey, can I see your witnesses? Does Moses agree with what you're saying? Did the Most High say what you're saying? Did any of the apostles say what you're saying? Did Messiah say what you're saying? You're telling me Jesus is God, but when I read the words of Messiah, he's telling me he prays to the Father. Right before they killed him, or crucified him, Pilate asked him, are you God? Is that what Pilate asked him?
Are you the son of God?
Khan. Pilate asked him, are you the son of God? And that's what the charge was. Nowhere in the text does he say he's God. No one in the text did the apostles think he was God. They kept asking, are you the one that's supposed to be sent to Israel? They never asked him, are you God? They was asking him, are you the one sent? Are you the son? So this whole Jesus is God is a logical fallacy. Where are your witnesses? So this plumb line keeps everyone honest. And we're going to use this plumb line to prove and flesh out that the God of the Bible, he is only the God of the Israelites. Yes, he created the world. He created heaven and earth and all that's in it. but he's only the God of the Israelites. Any comments or questions before we present the witnesses?
Khan, yeah, were you talking about Mark 15:2 when it says Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews, or king of um Yasharala, or the Abarium?
I think Mark records it, and I think Matthew or Luke might have recorded it too. And Pilate says, "Tell me now, are you the son of God? Are you son of the Most High?" I think, and then I think the Mark may have it, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he says, say you that is that what you say? Are you saying that, or have man told you that? But our point being that logical fallacy that Jesus is God, the text don't support that. They never asked him, "Are you God?" They kept asking him, "Are you the Son?" So now we're asking where you're getting this doctrine that he's God. It's a logical fallacy. The same thing with God is the God of the world. God is the God of everybody. God is the God of mankind. We're going to show with text he's not the God of mankind. He's not the God of the world. He's definitely not the God of the church. You guys worship every holiday on the Roman calendar. The Roman calendar is full of idols. You're celebrating Valentine's Day, that's an idol. You're celebrating Mother's Day, that's an idol. Father's Day, that's an idol. These are all Christian holidays. Our Father, the Most High, is definitely not the God of the church. All right, let's get into this. I'm gonna get out your way. First witness, let's go to Yabalim Jubilees 8 and 18. Jubilees 8 and 18. Yabalim 8 and 18. It's on the screen if you want to pull it from the screen up, or if you got your text, it's up to you.
Jubilees or Yabalim 8 and 18 says, "And Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem or Sham and for his sons, and he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy, for he had said, Blessed be the Lord God of Sham, and may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Sham."
Here's our patriarch Noah, who was very close to Abba. Noah was very close to Abba, and he remembered him prophesying about Sham or Shem. That is our progenitor. We come from the line of Shem or Sham. And he's saying, then this is when Noah received commandments from the angels. The angels appeared. You guys go back and read this. The angels appeared and gave him the writings from the heavens, from Shemayim, how to divide the earth with his sons. So Noah didn't decide this. The great I Am decided how to divide the earth. And when he seen that Shem got the best of the earth, he got the middle portion of the earth, he said Shem's land is neither hot nor cold, but it's moist and warm. Because Japhet got sent to where it's cold. Iceland, Europe, London. And then Ham got sent to where it's hot and dry. Africa. But Shem got to stay in the middle of the earth where it was neither hot nor cold. It was cool and the land was moist. It was profitable to grow food. And Noah said, blessed be the power of Shem. So Noah already had the spiritual foresight that Shem has the true God, or the true God is going to dwell with Shem, not with Ham or Japhet. Come on, man. Somebody talk to me. The true God is dwelling with Shem and his sons. So Noah's already seeing the true God is only dwelling with one of my sons, and it's going to be Shem. This is just Give Me book at its finest. Any comments or questions about this? This is just the intro. While we're still in Jubilees, this is Jubilees 15 and 30. It gets better. For this, I want to pull a couple verses. I'll pull 30, but let's start at 26. If you can pull it up on your app. Jubilees 15, and let's start it at 26. But 30 is the capstone. 30 is the capstone. The church don't have this understanding because they won't read from these history books. They've been under religion, and they let their religion, their curriculum, tell them what's canon and what's not canonized. So don't read this, read that. And these books bring out the truth. These books bring out the history that the church has just glossed over. So your religion don't stand up when you read these texts. Jubilees 15, we're going to go from 26 to 30. 15, 26 to 30. Read.
26 says, "And every one that is born, the flesh of whose foreskin is not circumcised on the 8th day, belongs not to the children of the covenant which Yahweh made with Abraham, but to the children of destruction, nor is there moreover any sign on him that he is Yahweh's."
So let me jump in here, Al. This is destroying Christian dogma because Christian dogma tells us having faith like Abraham makes you a son of Abraham. Abraham received the covenant because he believed. No, Abraham had to obey the terms. And the very first term of Abraham's covenant is circumcise the foreskin of your private part. Not only you, but your sons and your servants. So part of his covenant comes with a term, a stipulation. Shamaria, what's the other word? If he's doing something, it's coming with
condition.
That class you did, that series you did.
My brain is
the W word that they scared of.
Works.
Works. Y'all want to give me this whole doctrine. All you gotta do is believe like Abraham. I believe I'm a son of God, and he Jesus said it. No. Abraham had works. Part of Abraham's covenant for him and his boys, circumcise the foreskin of your member on the 8th day of the birth. When the child is, we just hear now. Part of our culture is the child doesn't get named to the 8th day, and that's when he gets circumcised. So here's the father telling Abraham, part of your covenant comes with works. So this whole doctrine that Abraham believed and it was counted to him righteousness is false doctrine, Mashapop. Abraham had works to do to keep his covenant. Not only him, but his sons. What it says if they don't keep the circumcision covenant?
It says if they don't keep the circumcision covenant, it says they belong not to the children of the covenant which the Most High made with Abraham. It said, but to the children of destruction.
You're going to be killed. You're going to be killed if you don't circumcise the foreskin. This is physical Yes, it's spiritual too. That's what keep us from fornicating. That's what keep us from being drunkards and whores. We're circumcising our hearts. But this is a physical contract we have to keep. If you are a male, not of course women don't do this. It's saying he didn't say Sarah, did he? He said Abraham and your sons and your male servants. This is works. I'm talking to the Christians. This is works. Abraham's covenant is tied to works and him keeping the Most High's ways. Read on out. Let me get out your way.
Imagine if he said, "Oh, I don't have to do this circumcision."
He would have dropped dead right. Most High, boom, you're done. You're done.
The Most High, God loves everybody. I don't have to do that. Like, yeah, I just believe, so yeah. I'm good.
What almost happened to Moses?
Come on now, Moses almost got mopped up by the angel because it didn't circumcise his son. His wife had to save his life. This whole doctrine, just name it, claim it, just have faith, just speak it. No, if you're Israel, that's why I wish my wife was on, but that's why we spent so much time identifying who Israel is. Because once you identify who you are, now we can see how we're supposed to live. Again, we're preaching to the choir here. This is for Christians and those just learning, but that's why when you go to the doctors, they're asking you to fill out this whole booklet about your family history so I can know what to look out for. I know I went to the eye doctor, and first time there, they was like, "Wow, you're what do you say? They said I had big pupils or something, and it was like, well, let's track it and keep a baseline because it could be just your genetics. But usually when we see I guess pupils or whatever it was so big, it's a sign that cataracts are coming. And I'm like, man, I don't claim that. My wife got embarrassed. Man, he's a quack. I ain't claiming that. But again, at least he had enough sense to know what it just could be your genetics. So let me get a baseline, and I track your, I don't know, was it pubic iris, whatever it is in your eye, because I track it to see if it keeps increasing. That's why we have to know who Israel is, because if you're Israel, there is no negotiating. No, I gotta circumcise myself. I gotta circumcise my son. It says I'm gonna be cut off forever. That's why we have to know who Israel is. Read on. That was a sidebar. He went out.
No, I'm here. It says, but to the children of destruction, nor is there, moreover, any sign on him that he is Yahweh's, but he is destined to be destroyed and slain from the earth and to be rooted out of the earth, for he have broken the covenant of Yahweh Elohim.
This has nothing to do with Abraham. It says that this is a sign that you belong to Yah. A sign that a man belongs to Yah is check his member. If you're not circumcised, you don't belong to Abba. You belong to destruction. Read on.
For all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification have been so created from the day of their creation. And before the angels of the presence and the angels of sanctification, he has sanctified Yasharallah or Israel, that they should be with him and with his holy angels.
So we just got to do this. I'm not in a rush. My wife's not here. I can't cut my yard. It's raining. Listen, if y'all got to sign off, sign off. We just here now. I just read Jubilees 15, 26, 27. The circumcision covenant. It is a requirement. It's a mandate. No getting around it. Then the text goes on that says, for all the angels of the presence are created this way. The angels have bodies. That means the angels have organs. It says they were created with circumcision. So they didn't have the extra skin that many of us was born with. What am I getting to? What am I alluding to? This supports the whole fallen angels sleeping with women. That's another whole debate community out there. That was just really big guys sleeping with women. No, they were actually Malachim. And not only that, even if Malachim wasn't built like us, they still have the power to shapeshift. We're just here now. I don't care if you don't believe it or not. I'm doing my assignment. The angels have the power to shapeshift. They can become a tree if they want to. They can become water. The text tell you in Hebrews, I think 9 or 10, be careful because many have entertained angels unaware. Now we have the text telling you that the angels of his presence are created with built-in circumcision. I'm going to get out y'all way. Where we at?
Verse 28, it says, and do you command the children of Israel, Yasharallah, and let them observe the sign of this covenant for their generations as an eternal ordinance, and they will not be rooted out of the land.
Eternal, forever. Read on.
For the command is ordained for a covenant that they should observe it forever among the children of Yasharallah. Verse 30, for Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau, Yahweh did not cause to approach him. And he chose them not because they are the children of Abraham. Because he knew them, but he chose Yasharallah to be his people.
Come on now. Esau and Ishmael are our blood brothers. They come from Isaac and Abraham. They are our blood. They come from Abraham. They are Hebrews. But the Most High says, I didn't choose them because I knew their spirit. I knew their spirit. So y'all follow my logic and let me know if I'm off, because this is not a religion here. We're not a vacuum here with one man giving everything. Y'all let me know if my logic or if my reasoning is off. Your religion tell me that regardless where I come from, Russia, China, Australia, Iceland, regardless of my bloodline, if I have faith and believe like Abraham, I'm a son of Abraham. But here we have a text telling you that Abraham's physical sons have been removed from Abba, but you're telling me you could be a spiritual son? Does that make sense to anybody? Ak, you got your hand up? Or is that an accident?
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely doesn't make sense, but I was gonna also say too, it just was coming to my mind because you hear a lot of times they say, um, in Abraham, all the families of the earth will be blessed, and they try to use that as a reasoning for the book being about the other people or the other nations. Um, and then also too, they'll say things like Abraham wasn't a Jew, or Abraham wasn't an Israelite, and things like that. But that verse right there, and I think we talked about it in the Most High, is the Most High unfair than yours and in mine? But he gives the promise and lets it be known through Abraham. And in that verse, he says the specifics, that it's not just about Abraham himself, because Abraham or Abraham's seed is a specific seed that comes from Abraham. And Abraham is the progenitor of Yasharallah. So it doesn't matter that he's not, if we took it at face value and not to go into the fact that, yes, he is Yasharallah, because if you know the Hebraic context. But surface level, him being the progenitor, and then the Most High repeats the covenant again to Isaac and then to Jacob. So he's basically he's narrowing it down for the people to let you know who the focus of it is. And to me, this is just a bullet in a chamber for that argument about all the families of the earth be blessed. It's about Abraham. It's about Abraham's faith. All those things that they say, towards Abraham.
Absolutely. And also, that is another case of a logical fallacy. Just because, let's take that verse at face value. Let's not even get into textual criticism. Let's take that text at face value. That through Abraham, all nations shall be blessed. Okay, let's say all nations are blessed. Just because all nations are blessed because of Abraham, do that mean that that the Most High love you because He blessed you? Does that mean the Most High wants you because He blessed you? Does that mean that you are a son of the Most High because He blessed you? That's another logical fallacy. That's going back to that example. It rains on the just and the unjust. Right now, a child molester is getting rain and his crops are growing. Does that mean the Most High loved the child molester? So that whole verse right there, again, without going into textual criticism, that's just another logical fallacy. But like you're saying, for those who, this is high level, so let's go back to just rudimentary principles. If they try to tell you that Abraham wasn't an Israelite, that's what we're addressing right now, just so we didn't lose people. Because that's one of the arguments they take you to. Abraham was the son of God and he wasn't an Israelite. How can he not be an Israelite and give birth to an Israelite? I can't come from something I'm not. So if I'm an Israelite, my father has to be an Israelite. They're caught up on these terms And even though I didn't want to get into it, that's why you have to understand the language, because Israelite and Israel are pagan words. When we say Yah Allah, that's the princes of Yah. And Abraham is the father of the princes. So how can he not be a prince of Yah, but he gave birth to the, he didn't give birth, his wife gave birth. But his seed is the princes, so but he's not a prince. It makes no sense. That's why it's important to learn the language. Yasher Allah means princes of Yah. And you telling me that Jacob is a prince of Yah, but not his father? It makes no sense. Your argument don't stand up. Your argument don't stand up. Where we at, Op?
That was verse 30. I think that's all you have.
Come. So here's the father telling us Abraham other sons, because Abraham had a total of not not counting Jacob, Isaac, not counting Isaac, he had Ishmael, and then Keturah had 6, right? So he had a total of 8. Oh, look at that. He had a total of 8, but the other 7 became Gentiles. Abraham other boys became Gentiles. The Most High said, I only want Isaac. I only want Isaac in his line. So he's only the God of the Israelites because he chose Israel and their fathers, going back to Adam. Again, we just hear now. Yes, Adam is a son of Yah. Enoch is a son of Yah. Seth is a son of Yah, or a prince of Yah. All the way down to Abraham and Isaac, that is the righteous line. Those are the princes of Yah. And he called that line. He don't want anyone else. So he's not the, yes, he created all the other nations, but he's not their God. And we're going to flesh it out. Nariah?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about this the other day, and it hit me. What was Yasher Allah's name before the Most High named him? It wasn't always Yasher Allah. It was Jacob or
Yeah.
Yaqub.
Yaqub.
So what that told me or tells me is that the Most High could have named any one of them in that bloodline Yasher Allah, but he was specific when it came down to who he chose to give that title to differentiate. Really, in my opinion, I will say it proves that he is only for a specific people, because it told you, and if I'm not mistaken, Jubilees, or if I don't know if you got it in your notes in Second Ezra, it mentions Ishmael and Esau. The Most High knew them. Though the Most High knew them, he chose a specific line. He chose Yasher Allah. So, the Most High could have gave that title or name to whoever he chose to, but he was just very specific on whose seed he's going to put his name on, if y'all get what I'm saying.
I didn't put it in the intro, but I'm probably going to put it in the following parts. I know the one you're referring to is 6, Second Ezra 6. So I didn't put it in the intro, but we have to go over. We have to put it in here. Set the water revive for that witness. Anybody else? Anybody else? We're going to take our time and show you that he's not the God of the world. He's only the God of the Israelites. The text supports that. Next witness, Yeremiah's Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11. It's on the screen if you want to just pull it from the screen up.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11 says, Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit.
So I'm just stuck on the KJV. I know some of these newer translations do read a lot better. I think like the new KJV and one of the other texts that I had up had that have a nation change their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their God. And that is what he's saying. So this is a 2 for 2. It's confirming with witnesses that the nations have gods other than the Most High. And now here in Jeremiah, the Most High is scorning our ancestors, telling them, look around you. Have these nations changed their gods, even though they're no gods? But they're stuck on their idols. And they're not giving up their idols, these dumb idols who can't talk. But they won't give them up. But look at you, who you done seen my work. You done seen my glory. Your ancestors have recorded that the mountains smoke. The mountains were burning. And now you're leaving your God for these other nations' gods who are no gods. So this is a 2-for-1, that the other nations have their gods, even though they're idols, and the Most High is He belongs to us. This is the Most High himself telling you that the other nations have gods and he's fine with it. Why? Because he don't care about them. Listen, it is what it is. I'm not interested in growing no community. I'm not interested in growing no congregation. I'm interested in running my race. The Most High don't care about these other nations, and the text is supporting this. Jeremiah 2:11, have a nation changed their gods, which are no powers, but my people is possessive. My people means that we belong to him and he belongs to us. It's possessive. My people have changed their power for that which do not profit. You're calling on Santa Claus. You're worshiping Easter and some bunny rabbits. You're having a Thanksgiving meal that's celebrating killing righteous Israelites who ran to this land to have peace. Now the Europeans come here and kill them, and now you're going to have a meal commemorating their win over righteous Israelite people. Those natives wasn't no hey ya, they give us in the Hollywood movies. Those native people were speaking Hebrew. Those native people were having they said that the history said they used to smoke tobacco as an offering. They had a feast of tabernacles where they camped out for 7 days. And when I asked them, the priest said, when I asked them why they're doing this, they said, I don't know, my fathers taught me this. Come on, man. Wow, we've been lost our way, but our fathers had gave us the traditions. Now you get these Europeans coming over here like, why y'all doing this? I don't know. I can't tell you, Mr. European. My fathers taught me to do this. There are women, when they're going through their cycle, this priest writing back to Europe saying, these people got the same customs of the Israelites. When their women going through their cycle, their women have to go out the camp with their servants and sleep away from the family. How are these people over here in the New World practicing these Jewish things? And they're copper complexion. Because their fathers had taught them who they were and what God they serve and how to please their God. But now we're lost here, don't even know that we're Israel, celebrating Christmas, celebrating Easter, now Kwanzaa. I'm not an African. Don't give me that African stuff. I ain't no African. I'm a Hebrew. I'm an Israelite. I don't want nothing African. I ain't no Pan-African. They keep giving us things trying to appease. You could be called everything but a Jew. You could be called everything but a Hebrew. They want you to run to that Islam. They want you to say, all praise be to Allah. Allah is garbage. Allah is garbage. I don't care who I offend. I'm trying to wake my people up. I'm not trying to go along to get along. No, we can't all exist. It's one king of the mountain, and it's Israel. It's one king, and it's Zion. No, we can't all get along. No, we can't all be friends. There's one power. There's one power. Where we at? It's wartime. It's wartime. Tired of playing nice. No, you're not right. No, your God ain't right. Next witness, Isaiah 63:19. Isaiah 63:19.
Isaiah 63:19 says, we are yours. You never bear us rule over them. They are not called by your name.
Here's the prophet who is named after our Messiah. Yashayah is the same name as Yahweh Shah. This is the same name as our Messiah. He's telling the Most High, Father, if Zion be built for our sake, why don't we possess it? We only possessed it for a little bit. The heathens have ruled Zion longer than us. And he says, you never bear rule over them. They're not called by your name. They're not called Yashar Allah. Rome is not Yashar Allah. Greece is not Yashar Allah. We just showed you who the Greece god was. It's Zeus. Rome has the same pantheon, just with different names. So here's Isaiah, Yashar saying, Father, if we be your people and this be our inheritance you gave us, this holy mountain, why the heathens is ruling over us? And you don't rule over them, you don't want them. They're not called by your name. I'm giving you witnesses that this God of the Bible is only the God of the Israelites. Can your pastor do this? Can your pastor do? He can't, because the Most High is not with these people. The Most High power is not on the church. His power is with his people. His people are Yashar Allah, Israel. All praise be the Most High. All praise be the Most High. Any comments or questions? Let me calm down. I don't want to scare nobody. Oh, bless his holy name. Yes, Father. It's wartime. Next witness, Micah 4 and 5. Micah 4 and 5. I'm giving you witnesses. The God of the Bible is the God of the Israelites. He's not the God of the world. If I'm wrong, post your verses. If I'm wrong, post your verses. I don't want any breakdown. I don't want no exegesis. I don't want no, my pastor said this. I don't want no, in the Bible study I heard this. I don't want nothing you heard. I want to read. I'm a bookworm. All I want to do is read. Give me something to read where he's the God of the Christians. He's the God of the church. He's the God of the Romans. He's the God of the Russians. Give me something I can read. Where we at?
Micah chapter 4 verse 5 says, for all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of Yahweh, our power, forever and ever.
Here's the prophet Micah. He's letting you know that in the end, when the Most High redeem his people, before the destruction comes, every other nation is going to return to their nation. And when they get back to their nation, they're going to honor their God. They're going to honor their traditions. So all those images we've seen where India has their God, and it's fine. Go. You can do that over there. But Israel and Zion, we're going to worship Yahweh under the rulership, under the kingship of his son. So when the Most High right this ship, because right now this ship is upside down. I forgot the term in nautical terms, but when the Most High right this ship, all these nations, like, you know how these hyphenated Americans, Japanese Americans, Italian Americans, and all this, everyone's going back to their land. That's why it's so disingenuous to call me an African American. That's a whole continent, man. What are you talking about? That's a whole continent made up of countries. Which country in Africa do I belong to? I belong to Israel, which is Northeast Africa. So here's the prophet Micah telling you that every nation is going back to their land to serve their gods, and we're going to walk in the name of Yahweh in Zion and serve our power without any more interference, without any more fear. We're going to return to Yahweh and worship him in spirit and truth with our traditions, with our feast days, as he commanded us in the beginning. But the other nations, you're going to serve your gods, which are no gods. But cool, do that in Europe. Do that in Australia. We don't care what y'all do over there. Just don't bring that to Zion. This is the text, family. This is the text showing you these other nations have powers, and the Most High understands. He's giving them that grace because he could just mop them up, but he doesn't care about them. It's like that kid in practice who ain't paying attention. He down there drawing hangman, and the coach ain't saying nothing to him. But as soon as you goof off, he's screaming at you, cussing you out. Why? Because he knows I need you. You a key player. Don't follow that idiot down there. He's a senior, ain't played one game his whole high school career. That's why he's down there playing hangman. But you, I need you. I'm gonna need you to pay attention and run this play. That's how the Most High is with these nations. I know they over there in Europe sleeping with men and sleeping with cows. I don't care about them. I don't want Zion sleeping with cows. I don't want Zion going up to the mountain and sacrificing to this idol. I don't want y'all doing that in Zion. But the other nations, let them do what they do. I don't want them. That's what the text supports, my Shabbat. If I'm wrong, anybody see this? If I'm wrong, post your verses. Post your verses, not your doctrine. Post your scriptures, not your doctrine. Any comments or questions about that? We got a few more out. We're going to wrap up. Let's go back to the law. Debarim is Deuteronomy. We got a couple more we're going to wrap up for today. This is just the intro. Man, I didn't mean to get all riled up. This covenant is my bread and butter. It's keeping me alive. It's keeping my marriage together. It's keeping my mind together. This is all I got. This is all I got. Deuteronomy 12:2.
It says, Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 2, you shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which you shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree.
Are we making this up? We're just reading the text. These scriptures are copy and paste. I swear to goodness, I didn't edit anything. It's telling you that when I bring y'all in, y'all will possess the other nations. That means we're going to have them for servants. But when I do this for y'all, don't ask how they serve their gods, because I don't want you serving me how they serve their gods. So that lets you know that the Most High seen them. Like you're hiding from him. He sees what y'all doing. He knows that y'all have these caves. He knows that y'all have these tunnels where y'all abusing kids. He knows all this. He don't care about y'all. He's telling Israel, the Hebrews, when I bring you into the land and you mop these nations up and their remnant become your servants, don't try to imitate what they're doing. Like Christianity. Oh, this tree is about Jesus' birth. You think he was born in the dead of winter? Come on, man. This tree is honoring Jesus. Well, where's in scripture where I'm supposed to do this? We read earlier, Matthew 4:4, it says, man should not live by bread, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. Where did the Most High tell me to chop a tree down in honor of his son? Nowhere. But I can show you pages upon pages where these pagan nations worship the evergreen tree as an everlasting life fertility ritual. The Most High is telling us directly, don't serve me any way these nations serve their gods. But you keep doing it with Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day. Why you think anybody know why Mother's Day is the biggest time to sell plants and flowers? Anybody know? Anybody did the research or been around us for a while? No one? Mother's Day is not about your mom. Mother's Day is about Mother Earth, one of their idols. The old term you can research is Gaia. Gaia is where they get Gia from. Gaia or Gia, like geography. Geography means location on the planet, on the earth. That's Gaia is spelled Gaia. So you can pronounce it Gaia or Gia. And that's where all the flowers come from. They're worshiping. Now our family is doing it out of ignorance, but the Most High still said don't serve him as a nation serve their gods. So all those flowers for these moms, they're really paying homage to Mother Earth, because the earth is coming back to life. So instead of giving praise to the great I am for a new season of restoration, you're giving it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing he said not to do. He said don't worship the creation, worship the creator. But these Romans then Christianized all their idolatry. Now you got me feeling bad if I don't buy my mom flowers on Mother's Day. No, I'm not. I'm not. I mean, my mother has gone on now, but I had to tell her, like, Mama, I'm not. I won't be calling you no more. I won't be sending you no more money. I'm not. It's not about Mother's Day. I understand. That's what you want to do. And that's what I gotta do. I love you. You know I love. I don't need no Christian made man holiday to show my mom love. That's a tangent, but the point being, all these days that the Catholic Church has brought to the world, and now our families celebrate ignorantly, they're worshiping these idols, these gods of the other nations. And that's what Deuteronomy 12:2 is telling us not to do. Don't worship the great I am. Don't worship the Most High Yah like the nations worship their idols. And that's what we've been doing out of ignorance. And our families refuse to hear us. It's for the kids. What about my kids? They're going to feel left out. Everyone in class is celebrating. Everyone in class is wearing a Easter hat. Listen, my child ain't, no. I keep him home that day. I belong to the Most High. Any comments or questions about this? The nations have their gods, and the Most High knows this. He don't care what they do for their gods. He don't want his people doing it for him. Any questions about Deuteronomy 12:2? We got two more. We're going to wrap up. Let's go to Amos 3:2. Amos 3:2. Amos 3:2. This is Bloodlines and Beliefs, the introduction. Bloodlines and Belief, the introduction.
Amos, or Amos, chapter 3, verse 2 says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities."
This is black and white. This is black and white. This verse is not broken down. I didn't exegete anything. Family, I copied and pasted this from the KJV edition of the scriptures. And Amos, a prophet for the Most High, meaning he's speaking for the Most High, or to put it plainly, the Most High is speaking. The Most High is speaking here. The Most High is saying, and this is a quote, "You only have I known." So this is the Most High. Let's put the pronoun labels in here. Israel only have I known of all the families of the earth. So out of all the nations that are on this earth, I've only known Israel. This is the Most High speaking. So we're not making this up. And this is just an introduction. We're going to get deeper and pull out the more witnesses. The God of the Bible is not the God of the world. He is the God of the Israelites. I don't care if this is not popular. I don't care if this don't get no clicks and views. I don't care about, y'all know I don't care about none of that. I care about our community and trying to reach our brothers and sisters who have an ear to hear. I already know this is going to be too hard for most people. This is going to be too hard for them because they've been indoctrinated. It's like that Get Out movie. They've been seeing Jesus is love so long. Jesus is love. I'm live right now, but I don't care anymore. I crack up when I watch movies and they have like a church scene by these Gentiles and they're in there preaching, Jesus loves you. And I'm like, I'm just cracking. I look at my wife like, and he doesn't. Like, you know, it is what it is. That's why they hate us, family. Now, I won't say this publicly because that's what caused the nations to hate us more, because our ancestors, the Pharisees are our forefathers. And they were very evil, because if you didn't agree with them, they would kill you. They did it to Messiah, right? So our ancestors, family, and I got so much I want to share with y'all, so much history I'm reading, just my schedule, it's just not enough hours. Our ancestors were very arrogant. They were very arrogant, and it goes against the Most High's wisdom, because it's like the Most High is telling you, like, if your enemy hungers, feed him. If he thirsts, give him a drink. It would be like pouring hot coals on his head. And our ancestors did the very opposite. We got above these people and we just taunted to them that we are the blessed. We are the beloved. And then we got so cocky and arrogant, we left the great I am, and here we are now at the bottom of the rung. But our ancestors made it easy for these nations to hate us because they were so cocky and even when we were kicked out during the so-called Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, depending on who you talk to, it's from like the 1000s to like the 1600s. We were still being outcast, have to pay tribute taxes everywhere we were living, in Amsterdam, London, and that's when they put us in ghettos. You guys can live in this area only. If you're a Jew, Black Jew, Sephardic Jew, this is y'all area. And we were being happy with that, but we were still over in these people's lands talking big cash money to them. Like, yeah, he's gonna redeem us. Like, yeah, he's gonna restore us. Not knowing how much more of the curses we had to endure. Had they been reading the law instead of being caught up in that rabbinic Judaism, they would have known to be humble. They would have known that you guys are still over here with all your wealth. You guys are now in Europe running all the trades. Had they known and been reading the law instead of that rabbinic Judaism crap, they would have known, let me be quiet because any day the bottom could fall out of this thing. The Most High says He's gonna put us on ships again. And that hadn't happened yet. Even in the 1500s, it hadn't happened yet. So if our ancestors were in the law, like we're in the law, they would have known I shouldn't be so arrogant over here. You're being advisors to these kings. Our ancestors were advisors to the king of Portugal and Spain. Our ancestors were doctors to the king. That's all these first medical books and these medical encyclopedias. Our ancestors wrote them in Portuguese and in Spanish. Yes, it was our ancestors. Had they been in the law, they should have known, let me be humble. Let me pray, Abba, if this is to come, have mercy. Have mercy on my grandkids who got to go through this. But our ancestors were very brass and very cocky. They made it easy for these nations to hate us. The Most High saying, out of all the families of the earth, I've only known y'all. But we shouldn't take that and rub these people's nose in it. Especially right now, we ain't got no army. Those of us, you think your door and your lock, you think your lock on your door is saving you from these people? No. So that's why I'm not interested in building no big old congregation and come to our feast days and buy a ticket. No, what is this? What are we doing? This is the Most High's holy day. We ain't selling no tickets. Anyway, I said enough. Where we at? This is the last one, Mashapal. We're going to park here. The water rebuff out for your service, everyone's patience. We're going to park here. This is the last one, and this is just the intro. Y'all willing, next week we'll be back on. If it's not me, someone else will be up here. But when I'm back, we'll continue with Bloodlines and Beliefs. But this is the intro. We'll get a little deeper as we go into the parts. This is Jeremiah 31 and 2. Jeremiah 31 and 2. Same language.
It says, at the same time, saith the Most High, will I be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people.
Black and white, Mashapal. Black and white. When we say He's only the God of the Israelites, it's because the text says it. Not because I done had a dream. Not because someone done put some oil on my head and push my head back to my let it go. He got it. No. The Most High is waking His people up and He's removing the scales from our eyes. Now I ain't got no preacher in my ear. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no, I'm reading. Pastor, calm down. Let me read. It just says He's the God of the Israelites. This says I'm going to be the God of all the families of Israel, not the church, not the tithe payer, not the one speaking in tongues, not the one going to Mighty Men's Conference 2026. He says, I'm going to be the power. I'm going to be the Elohim. I'm going to be the God of Israel. Pastor, where are you getting your doctrine from? Pastor, where can I find the Christians at? Where can I find the Baptists at? Where can I find the Methodists, the Lutherans, the Seventh-day Adventists? Where are you at in this text? Where are you at in this text? This text is about the children of Israel, and we are these people. We are Israel by blood, not by faith, not by no wishing. We are, the curses are upon us. The bloodline is in us. The Most High grace has kept us through all these atrocities. Our Holocaust is not over yet. Our Holocaust is not over yet. And listen, I gotta prepare y'all. My days are numbered. My days are short. We got worse times coming. We can go back one chapter. Well, this part here. Let's go back to Jeremiah 30, since I just said it out, and we're gonna wrap here. Jeremiah 30, and let's just read the first 7 verses out. Jeremiah 31 through 7. We got worse times coming for our redemption. That's why you can't be so cocky because you know some laws and you know Hebrew now. You don't know what you about to see that may shake you. Us fathers may see our children ribs emaciated. That could make you fold. That's why I don't like to talk bad about our forefathers. They seen some evil stuff. If you knew what they did to us to get us to recant, if you knew what they did to us, pulling someone's fingernails out, hanging somebody rectum over this pointed little comb, like the evils our ancestors went through because they couldn't keep the law, or they refused to keep the law, the stuff they went through. That's why I be careful how you talk about the ancestors. I talk big and bold, but you don't know. You don't know what's going. You seen your wife get raped, gang raped in front of your children. You don't know what's going to bring your breaking point. You don't know. Pray for the Most High to give you the strength to endure to the end. You don't know what our ancestors saw. They saw great evils, lifetime. They smelt their children's flesh burning. They seen their children's flesh melting off them because they wouldn't recant. They wouldn't give up the covenant. So you don't know what's going to be your breaking point. Pray that you don't have one. But you can't speak now because we ain't went through nothing. Our generation didn't even go through Jim Crow. My parents did, and my grandparents. But by the time I came up, it was a lot better. So we ain't went through. Why should we be the generation just wakes up and march back into Zion singing lolly dotty da? No, you don't know what's going to be around the corner for you. You don't know. Stay humble, stay prayed up. The Father gives you the strength to endure these trials. Where we at?
Jeremiah 30 and verse 1. It says, the word that came to Yeremiah or Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Yasharallah, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, Yahweh and Yasharallah, saith Yahweh. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
So now we're getting, and this is right on time with today's class. All praise to the great I am. I didn't even have this loaded, but this is a future tense. Yes, Jeremiah lived through the Babylonian captivity. His prophecy covered the Babylonian captivity. And so now the Most High is promising the days are coming where I'm going to bring back the captivity of my people. Here's that possessive language again. He's saying my people, and then he tells you who his people are. He didn't say the Christians. He didn't say believers. He didn't say Nazarites. He says Israel and Judah. For people who are new, Israel and Judah is referring to the 12 tribes of Israel. We're just here now. Our nation had a civil war and we got divided during Solomon days. So we were never one people. We were always referred to as two kingdoms. Northern kingdom, Israel, and southern kingdom, Judah or Jerusalem. So this future tense prophecy has not happened because the 12 tribes have never been reunited in world history. Right now, those fish people who claim they're Jews, a Jew just means you come from the tribe of Judah. So where's Israel? Where's the northern kingdom? This prophecy in Jeremiah 30 is what we're going to. We're moving towards every day. This war that my son is fighting, and this war in Iran is just part of this thing. This war is just a start of this thing. So now we're getting the context. His people is Israel and Judah. And there's a future context. He's going to restore or bring them back from captivity. Let's read on out.
And these are the words that Yahweh spoke or spake concerning Yasharallah and Yahweh, Israel and Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask you now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turned into paleness.
He says what y'all about to see is going to be so horrific. It's like us men just bent over holding our genitalias like you see a woman holding her stomach when she's going into birth. It's about to get real bad out here. And you can have all the ammo you want. It's not going to save you. You can have all the MRE rations you want. It's about to get bad. Our redemption is going to be horrific. It's going to be horrific. Read on out.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
No day has been like this. So all those horrible slave movies we grew up with, like I thought Roots was bad. Now they got more, like 12 Days a Slave or something like that. They have the series me and my wife used to watch, the Underground. What was it called? Underground Railroad. It was something. It was a good series. But anyway, all these slave images and these slavery enactments, Django, with this technology, they was able to show us great horrors, women being raped, hearing women cry out in the night, children going missing. This text is saying this day ain't no day like this day that you're about to see. With all the horrific body, we got movies where they're throwing dead bodies in the ocean who didn't make the middle passage. They said people were sitting in other people's feces. People throwing up so horrible in the bottom of those boats. All this stuff we got, all these writings we got. He says this day is worse than all that. No day is like this day. But Jacob is going to be saved out of this. Not the church, not believers, not speaking in tongues, not your pastors. Jacob is going to be saved. This is why you got to learn who Jacob is. To my babes, Jacob is going to be saved out of this. That's the 12 tribes. Read on out.
That was it,
All praises to the great I am. This is Bloodlines and Beliefs, the introduction. And we're trying to answer the question for the babes, the Christians. Again, this was inspired by that roundtable discussion with the sisters and a lot of the Christian sisters, because one of the Israelite sisters, she did a great job of breaking down the history, the patriarchs, and how the covenants run through Abraham. They actually run all the way back to Adam. Every righteous son inherited the covenant, and Abraham passed it on to his son Isaac, and Isaac passed on to Jacob. But the covenants still include what was promised to Adam. But it comes through Adam all the way through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we're showing you with text that the God of the Bible, he's only the God of the Israelites. Yes, the text tells you, I didn't pull it, we're going to put it in part 2's. Yes, he created the heavens and the earth. Yes, he owns everything on the planet and the ocean. Yes, it's his world. But contextually, when you read the text, he's only claiming Israel to be his sons and daughters. So this is how we slow everything down, build our witnesses, live by the plumb line. Just give me book at its finest. The Most High, we call him Yahweh. He's only the God of the Israelites. He's only the God of the Israelites. Any closing comments or questions about Bloodlines and Belief introduction?
Khan, just hearing you talk about everything in regards to how we were put at the bottom because of our iniquity or our lawlessness, but how Yah is essentially going to put us back on top. It makes me think of the names, both names, Jacob or Yaqub and Israel or Yasharallah. And if I'm not mistaken, Jacob or Yaqub means trickster or supplanter. So um, when I think about that name, I think about those, those street hustlers on the side of the street, out there in Vegas or, wherever. And they got that little game where they play with the cups, the three cups, and then they'll put like a ball or something under there and say, hey, guess which cup the ball is under? And we can wager. If I win, I take your money. And if you win, you take my money. So Jacob or Yaqub reminds me of how the tables will turn. And even though the nations were on top for a time, we're going to be swapped. We're going to swap places. So you think you're going to stay at the top, but you're going to be supplanted. And Yah's people are going to be put back on top where they initially belong because Yaqub, the supplanter, has found favor and became a prince of the power or Yasha Allah. But I just wanted to say that if that made sense.
Khan, it definitely makes sense, and that's what they're fighting tooth and nail right now. They're trying to scrub websites. I came across another book. I thought I was going to try to find it and buy a copy of it. The book was like a couple $100. I'm like, wow, I wonder what's in that book. So yeah, they want to keep us hidden and keep us downtrodden, and it's like that verse you referenced yesterday for prayer, Second Ezra. I think you said Second Ezra 2:28. The nations shall envy us, but they will not be able to do anything with us or about us. So that's why this thing is going to be glorious. They can make all kind of laws. Don't You can't talk about what they're coming up with now. If you're not teaching Orthodox Christianity, you're going to be jailed or fined. Or I mentioned this at Sakah, or I told Shamaria maybe at work. I can't remember, but I'm bad at checking email. I've been bad at checking email, and I had went into the Torah group's email account a couple months ago, and I think I was looking for something, and I just happened to go into the account, and I'm getting all these YouTube notifications where they had like removed like 5 or 6 of our videos for community violations. I'm like, I'm clicking on the video, like, which one was that? Like, it's like, no, what? I ain't worried. Anything that's going against mainstream and waking our people up, they're coming against it. And it's only right. Messiah says, you should be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And he wasn't talking to Christians. I mean, that's the perfect capstone for today. Bloodlines and Belief. I think I had it for next week, but I like to say the New Testament for last because that's what they believe is a new way of life. But even inside the so-called New Testament, it's still a national tone to those writings. Messiah said, "You're going to be hated of all nations for my name's sake." And when he said that, he wasn't talking to Christians. He was talking to Hebrew Israelites who were practicing Torah, keeping the feast days. And he told them, and then what was so prophetic, he knew that generation was going to pass away. So when he said that for our benefit. So now they're seeing us with our fringes on. They're seeing us wearing our zits. And they may not say nothing verbally, but they're despising us. That's why I walk around my job with my chest out, my head up. I know who I am. I know you beneath me. And they hate that. They hate that. I said enough. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up?